Okay, so today we're starting chapter 11. This section is covering translations. We are skipping chapters 9 and 10 for now because they focus on geometry, and we need to make sure that we have enough time from now until the end of the school year to cover what you need to know for Algebra 1. That's my main focus, is to get you guys ready for Algebra 1 next year. All right, so that's why we're in chapter 11. This chapter is very important for building into Algebra 1 next year. But before we do that, I just want you to do a quick sketch of your X and your Y axis. I'm talking like just do a couple numbers showing that above the Y axis it's positive, negative X values, positive X values, and negative Y values. Here's something that's really important. The vertical axis on the coordinate plane is the y-axis. The horizontal axis is the x-axis. So anytime we're talking about x values, those values move left and right on the coordinate plane. Everything that we talk about in chapter 11 has to do with the coordinate plane. Every concept, every transformation, a type of transformation that we learn has to do with ordered pairs in the coordinate plane. So this is something that we've already learned, and you're going to see that it's very, very important for this chapter. So it's important that we review what an ordered pair is. Do you guys sort of remember us talking about ordered pairs at all? Okay. So an ordered pair is written in parentheses, and my X value comes first, and my Y value comes second in an ordered pair. And it's always in that order. X comes first and then Y. Okay, so what does it look like with numbers? Well, I just gave you a random, okay, I just made it up, ordered pair of -3, 2. Okay, -3, 2. And we're actually just going to plot it on the graph, okay? So if my X value is -3, let me go ahead and erase this, all these highlighted marks. All right, sorry. Okay, if my X value is -3, on the X-axis, okay, look at how the number line goes. Do you think you would go left 3 or right 3 if it's negative? I just follow how a number line is supposed to trend. I'm going to go left 3, but I don't stop there to plot my point. I now have to follow the Y value. If the Y value is a +2, do you think you would go up or would you go down? You would go up 2, okay? So you would go left 3, up 2 to plot your point. And this is where the point would be plotted on the graph, okay? So following an ordered pair, X always comes first and then Y, and that's how you would follow it on a graph to plot that point, okay? We are not graphing today. We will be graphing tomorrow, okay? Today, I need you to kind of wrap your head around basically what we're doing when we translate an image. Okay, so basically we're just going to be working with ordered pairs today. And then tomorrow we'll take those ordered pairs and we'll graph them. All right? Okay, just try to kind of stay with me, and we'll try to break it down as much as we can. Okay, so now I want to give you a quick overview. The only thing you need to write down today is the definition, need my highlighter, the definition of a transformation and the definition of a translation. I have written the other 3 because I want you to understand that we're only learning the first out of 4 types of transformations, okay? So that's what chapter 11 is going to teach you, but just for today, we're only learning translations. But what is a transformation? Okay, well, let's talk about it. What do you think of when you think of the word transformation? Can anybody give me an example? Raise your hand. Sarah? Something old to something new. Gabe?
Like changing into something different.
Okay, give me like a real life example of a transformation. Zach?
Like butterflies and they go from
Yes, very good. A caterpillar to a butterfly. Anybody watch the home like renovation shows? Where like Fixer Upper and whatnot, where they take a home that like is like super run down and then what do? They transform it, okay? So that's a transformation. That's basically what we're doing to figures. And when I say a figure, I'm talking triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons. I'm talking about basically like shapes, okay? So I can translate these shapes on a graph. I can slide them. That's a translation. That's what we're doing today. We are sliding the ordered pairs, but the figure does not turn and it does not change in size. Okay, so those are my two rules for a translation. The figure slides, but it does not turn or change size. Okay? You don't have to write the other three because you're going to write those when we learn those lessons. Only have to write the top two, terms and definitions. Okay, so in example 1, we're going off of the definition, okay? Does the figure from blue, it says, tell whether the blue figure is a translation of the red figure. So from red to blue, does it meet the criteria? Did it slide but not turn? And did it stay the same size from red to blue? Yes. It slid. You can tell by the fact that the short side is on the bottom in both figures. You can tell that it has not turned. It simply moved to the left and down, which is okay. So I would say yes, this is a translation, okay, from red to blue. All right, now let's look at B. And it's a good idea to sketch these figures and then say yes or no. All right. From B, from red to blue, go ahead and sketch them. I want you to tell me, did it follow the rules for a translation? Did it slide but not turn, and did it stay the same size? All right. What do you think, guys? No. Okay, so from red, it's more like standing upright, and on the blue figure, it's more what? Laying down on its side, right? So I would say no. You will not be asked to say why, okay? But we know the answer is no because it turned. It turned. It's not facing the same direction anymore. All right, any questions? All right, so now I want you to try these two. Again, same criteria. All right, is the blue figure a translation of the red figure? From red to blue, does it meet the criteria of a translation? Okay, and then from red to blue, so again, you're going red to blue on number 2. All right, so just sketch them real quick and then do yes or no. We'll pick up on this in like 2 minutes. Okay, again, on your homework, it's not going to make you say why, but if you don't know why, then you're basically guessing. Okay, so on number 1, is it a translation?
No.
No, it is not. Okay, so that's a good answer. Now, it did shift, essentially moving to the right, but why is it not a translation?
Because it
Got bigger. Actually, that's what we call a dilation, which we're going to learn later in the chapter. So if it changes in size, it's not a translation. All right, what about number 2?
It is.
Yes. Okay, it's still facing the same direction, and for all that we can tell, it's the same size. Again, we don't need to get out a ruler. It will be obvious. Okay, any questions on that? That's 6 of your homework questions. There's only 2 more questions that we need to cover. Okay, just like that. All right, so here we go on example 2. Okay, don't write anything down yet, all right, because if you start writing, you'll have to erase. Okay, just let me kind of explain what's going on here first. We are translating a figure, okay? So what it means is we take what shape? I just highlighted it. A triangle. Since it's a triangle, it makes sense that it would have 3 ordered pairs that represent what we call vertices, basically each point in a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides, therefore it will also have 3 ordered pairs that represent the points of a triangle. Are you with me so far? So what if it was a quadrilateral? How many ordered pairs would you have?
4.
4, okay? And the list goes on. You're not going to see usually figures larger than that because it's very tedious work. And you're going to see that in just a second. So here's what I want you to do on your notes. I want you to write down each ordered pair vertically on your notes. Each one needs its own line. Okay, so you're going to write down A, negative 2, 1, B, 2, 5, and C, 1, 2. Okay, so you're going to write them vertically. I'm going to try to get mine in here. Okay, go ahead and write them vertically. Okay, so let's review again real fast. This is really, really important, okay? In the ordered pair, my first number is which value, X or Y? In the ordered pair, my first number is my X value. So remember back to the graph. We don't have a graph here to look at, but remember back to your graph. Your X-axis, which way did it go? Left or right or up or down?
Left.
Left and right, okay? So your second number is your Y value, and that number goes up and down, okay? That's really important for a translation, okay? So these are my 3 original ordered pairs, or my 3 points. Now what it says is, if you translate the figure 3 units right and 3 units down, what are the coordinates of the image? So the image is now the new figure that you've translated. Again, you're not changing the size, but you're now shifting this triangle on the graph. Now, the graph part of it we're going to do tomorrow, okay? We're just writing our new ordered pairs today. So we have negative 2, 1, okay? Well, the instructions, okay, so I want you to write it again, all right? You can maybe even draw like an arrow. All right, meaning that we're now about to do something to our X and our Y values. Our original X value for A is negative 2. Everybody agree? That's the first number. It says to move this point 3 units right. So I need to know, what does that mean I'm doing to X? Does that mean I'm adding 3 or subtracting 3 if I'm going 3 units right? I'm adding. So that's why I do plus 3. And in order for it to be a true translation, I must do the same thing to all of my points in the figure. So for B, okay, now I'm just going to take my X value for B, which was 2. Sorry, and I'm going to add 3. So guess what I'm going to do to my point C X value?
You're going to take it and add 3.
I'm going to take my X value of 1 from point C, and I'm going to add 3. Now, again, what told me that I was going to add 3? How did I know? Yes, okay, and that's going to change. Based on the problem on your quiz and your test, that's going to change. I could have said 5, and you would have done plus 5. It literally can be anything, okay? All right, so now let's look at our Y values. I have all my original Y values here, 1, 5, and 2 for each point. What am I going to do to Y? Am I going to add? Am I going to subtract? And by how many? The instructions tell me 3 units down. So again, on the graph, if I'm going 3 units down, do you think that that's adding or subtracting? Subtracting by 3. So take the original Y value of 1 and minus 3. Take your next Y value on point B, 5 minus 3, and 2 minus 3. Okay? And so now here, you're showing basically how you're translating it. All right? You're moving your X values to the right by 3 and your Y values down by 3. And now you're going to write your new ordered pairs for the image. Okay? So for point A, all right, you're going to write a little apostrophe kind of after the A. And basically that just means that's the image, all right? We call it A prime. It's just a fancy word for this A is different from the first A, okay? All right, what's your new A value for X when you do negative 2 plus 3? Nope. What's negative 2 plus 3? 1. Okay, and then what's 1 minus 3? Negative 2. So that's your new ordered pair for A. Okay? So now on B, you're going to add 2 plus 3 to get your new x value. And what's it going to be? 5. Okay? And now you do C. Okay? Find your C. All right, so for point C, my new ordered pair is 4, negative 1. Okay, now, oops, I forgot I'd already written that. 4, negative 1. All right, so now let's come down to the next A, B, and C. Okay, so for point A, I need to do something to my x value. I'm moving it somewhere, and right now it's like open game. I can move it anywhere, left or right, up or down. But now my instructions specifically tell me where am I going on x? Which way am I going? 2 units left, which means what am I doing to my x value? Subtracting 2. So I take my original x value and I subtract 2. How did I know subtract? Because I'm going left. All right, so it just goes back to, in the first one I was going right, so I added. All right, now, what am I doing to my y value? Am I adding or subtracting?
Adding.
How did you know that I was going to add?
Because it said go up.
Because it goes 4 units up. So now I'm going to add 4 to my y value. All right, so that's what you do for each of the ordered pairs. All right, so for x's, you're going to subtract 2 from each one, and for y's, you're going to add 4. All right, before I fill it all in, I want you to go ahead and write that down on your notes, try to kind of work ahead, and write your new ordered pairs. Okay, so 3 minus 2, 2 minus 2. Remember, I have to do the same thing to all my x's and the same thing to all my y's, so I'm moving everything the same distance. All right, so what's negative 4 minus 2? Negative 6, and what's 2 plus 4? All right, who got negative 6, 6? Raise your hand if you got negative 6, 6. Okay, next one, what's 3 minus 2? 1. And what's negative 5 plus 4? Negative 1. All right, and for point C, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 4 plus 4 is 8. All right, so here's what we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to go over to our graph. Let me see if I can change the color. And we're going to graph the 3 ordered pairs for the original triangle. And then we're going to come over to the image, and we're going to graph the 3 ordered pairs for our image. And you're going to see how the triangle shifts on the same graph. Okay? You're translating it on a graph. That's what we're going to do basically tomorrow. All right? If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for part 1 of 11.1.